She woke up to a ceiling she didn't recognize, painted the color of skim milk, with a hairline crack that ran from the light fixture to the corner like a thin scar. For a few seconds, she stayed still and listened, trying to place the room by sound. No traffic hummed the way her old apartment had. No upstairs neighbor's footsteps. Just the low, steady breathing of someone close enough that she could feel warmth on her shoulder. Her eyes shifted. A man lay beside her on crisp white sheets. His back was turned, one arm flung out like he owned the space between them. Dark hair. Broad shoulders. A small mole near his shoulder blade. He looked comfortable in a way that made her stomach tighten, because she wasn't. She didn't scream. It wasn't bravery. It was the kind of panic that freezes you quiet so you don't tip over whatever thin ledge you're standing on. She tried to remember the last thing she remembered. There was a street light. Rain on a windshield. The sound of a turn signal clicking. Her own voice? Maybe laughing, maybe crying. Then nothing. The man shifted, his arm brushing her forearm, and her skin prickled as if a stranger on the subway had pressed too close. He rolled halfway toward her with a soft groan, eyes still closed, and mumbled her name like it was a word he'd said every morning for years. "Jules," he said, voice thick with sleep. "You okay?" Jules. Her name was Jules. That part was true. It landed in her chest with a strange, shaky relief. But the way he said it, like he had a claim to it, made her throat go dry. She held her breath and watched him blink awake. He opened his eyes. Brown. Warm, if warmth could be trusted. He gave her a small smile that looked practiced in a gentle way, like a habit. "You're up early," he said. "Bad dream?" She stared at him. Her brain kept searching for a file that wasn't there. His face was clear and sharp, and still her mind offered nothing. No memory of first meeting. No memory of an argument. No memory of a kiss. Nothing. She forced her lips to move. "Who are you?" The smile didn't vanish, not right away. It hesitated, like a door that sticks for half a second before opening. "Jules," he said carefully, the way you talk to someone who just stood too fast. "It's me." That's not an answer. He sat up, sheets dropping to his waist. He wore a plain gray t-shirt like he'd slept in it. He didn't look alarmed. He looked concerned, which was worse, because concern could be a mask. "It's Ethan," he said, softer. "Your husband." The word hit her like cold water. Husband. It didn't make sense. It didn't fit the empty space in her head. She looked down at her own left hand. There was a ring. A simple band. Gold. Worn in a way that suggested it had been on her finger a long time. The skin beneath it looked slightly paler, like it had been protected from the sun. Her pulse kicked hard. She yanked her hand back as if the ring had burned her. "No." Ethan reached for her, then stopped himself halfway, like he remembered a rule. "Hey. Okay. Okay. Take a breath. I'm not married." His face tightened, just a flicker, but she saw it. Something moved behind his eyes and locked into place. "You are," he said. "Jules, you are. We've been married for 2 years. 2 years. If he'd said 2 days, she could have imagined a drunken mistake, a Vegas thing, an impulsive mess. 2 years was a whole life. A life that should have been filled with thousands of tiny moments, groceries, arguments about laundry, inside jokes, the way someone likes their coffee. Her mind was a blank wall. She swung her legs off the bed, heart hammering, and stood up too fast. The room tilted. She caught herself on the edge of a nightstand. A framed photo sat there. It was her. Smiling. Her arm looped through Ethan's. They were in front of a lake, sunlight on their faces, and she looked happy. Not posed happy. Real happy. Like she trusted the hand around her waist. Her stomach turned. She grabbed the photo, brought it closer. The woman in the picture was her, but it felt like watching a stranger wear her skin. Ethan watched her carefully. "You remember the trip, right? Lake Tahoe. Last summer." She shook her head. His jaw worked as if he was chewing something bitter. "Okay. That's okay. Sometimes after a bad night." "I don't remember you," she cut in. Silence thickened. Ethan's eyes flicked to the door, then back to her, like he was checking exits in a room that suddenly felt smaller. "Jules," he said. "You're scaring me." "I'm scaring you?" Her voice cracked on a laugh that didn't sound like laughing. "I woke up in a bed with a man I don't know and a ring on my finger." He stood, slow, palms open. "Let's not do anything sudden. You hit your head 2 nights ago, remember? You slipped on the stairs." "2 nights ago," she repeated, trying to keep her voice steady. "I hit my head. And now I don't remember my husband." "That can happen," he said quickly. "Too quickly. Concussions can mess with memory." She stared at him. "Then why am I not in a hospital?" He paused. A fraction of a second. A little stumble. "Because the urgent care said you were okay," he said. "They checked you. They told us to watch for symptoms." "Us." He kept saying us as if it was a rope he could throw across the gap between them. Jules stepped around him and moved toward the door. Her bare feet sank slightly into plush carpet. The room smelled faintly like clean laundry and something woody, cologne, maybe. Not hers. Ethan didn't block her. He followed, a few steps behind. The house outside the bedroom was quiet and bright. Sunlight slid through large windows. The space looked expensive in a calm way, clean lines, neutral colors, no clutter. Like a catalog. Like a place someone staged to look lived in without actually living. She walked down the hall, fingers grazing the wall for balance, and stopped at a mirror. Her reflection looked normal. Same face she'd seen her whole life. Brown eyes, a faint freckle near her left cheekbone. Hair messy from sleep. But there were details she didn't recognize. Her hair was longer than she remembered. There was a small scar near her hairline, pale and thin. And on her wrist, faint yellow bruising like a healing grip. She lifted her wrist, touched it lightly. Ethan's voice came from behind her, careful. "You fell hard. The bruises." "I don't remember falling," she said. He nodded, like he'd accept any version of reality as long as it ended with her calming down. Okay. Let's get you some water." She turned away from the mirror and kept moving. A staircase opened to the left. Hardwood steps. A runner rug. At the bottom, a living room with a couch that looked barely sat on. A throw blanket folded too neatly. She moved toward the front door. Ethan's footsteps quickened. "Jules, wait. Please." She reached for the doorknob. It had a security latch. One of those extra locks high up. Her fingers froze. She looked at it, then slowly turned her head toward him. Ethan stopped in the middle of the entryway. His hands were still open, but now his shoulders were tense. "That's for safety," he said, like he'd rehearsed the line. "You get nervous at night sometimes. You like having it locked." "I like having it locked," she repeated flatly. He swallowed. "Yeah." Her heart beat loud in her ears. "Unlock it." Ethan's eyes held hers. "Let's talk first." "Unlock it," she said again, sharper. His jaw tightened. Then he stepped forward, reached up, and slid the latch open. It clicked. He opened the main lock. Then the deadbolt. He stepped aside. "Go ahead." Jules stared at him, waiting for the catch. For the moment he'd grab her arm, pull her back, laugh like she was being ridiculous. Nothing happened. She opened the door. Cold air hit her face. The outside smelled like pine and distant water. She stepped onto a front porch that looked out over a quiet street lined with trees and spaced-out houses. A suburb. Not a city. She didn't recognize it. She looked left and right, trying to anchor herself with something familiar. A street sign, a mailbox, anything. There was a sign at the end of the driveway. Mason Ridge. No city name. No state. Her throat tightened. Where are we? Ethan hovered behind her, not touching. Outside of Seattle, he said. Woodinville. Seattle. That was far. She tried to remember living in Seattle. Nothing came. She remembered, what did she remember? Her old apartment with the noisy neighbor. A bodega downstairs. A subway rumble. That wasn't Seattle. A sudden wave of dizziness washed over her, and she gripped the porch railing. Ethan moved closer. Okay, sit down. No, she said automatically, because sitting down felt like giving up control. He didn't argue. He just stood close enough to catch her if she fell. Jules stared out at the street. Somewhere down the road, a dog barked. A sprinkler ticked. A car door shut. Normal life. Her life, supposedly. But her head was a locked room. She forced herself to step back inside. Not because she trusted him, but because she needed a plan. Outside was open space and no answers. Inside had clues. She walked straight past him into the living room. On a wall was a cluster of framed photos. Wedding photos. Her breath caught. There she was in a white dress, hair styled, makeup soft. Ethan in a suit, smiling. They were under an arch of flowers. Behind them was a view of mountains and a lake. She moved closer, scanning each image like an investigator. Her parents were in one photo, at least, she assumed they were her parents. A woman with kind eyes, a man with a stiff smile. Friends around them. People she should recognize. She recognized no one. There was another photo, her laughing with a group of women at what looked like a bachelorette weekend. All of them holding drinks, leaning into the camera. She didn't recognize a single face. Her skin crawled. Ethan stood a few feet away, voice gentle. We got married in Chelan. You loved it there. You said you wanted mountains, not a ballroom. Chelan. Washington. A place she'd never been, as far as her brain was concerned. Jules turned away from the photos and walked into the kitchen. Everything looked chosen with intention. A coffee maker. A knife block. A bowl of fruit. A child's drawing on the fridge. She stopped. A child's drawing. It was a stick figure family. 3 figures. One tall with short hair. One with long hair. And a smaller one between them. Above the figures, in messy crayon letters, it said, MOM plus Dad plus me. Jules' mouth went dry. Ethan's voice was behind her, softer now. Mia made that. Jules didn't turn. Who's Mia? A beat of silence. Our daughter, Ethan said. Jules' whole body went cold. She turned slowly, staring at him as if he'd just spoken a different language. My, what? Ethan's face shifted into something that looked like pain, real pain. Jules? Mia is 5. 5. That wasn't a detail you could fake easily. A 5-year-old meant school, birthdays, doctor visits, sleepless nights, the weight of a child on your hip. It meant a whole person who depended on you. Her knees felt weak. No, she whispered. No. That's not. A sound came from somewhere upstairs. Small footsteps. Then a child's voice, sleepy and casual, drifting down the hallway. Mom? Dad? Why were you talking so loud? Jules froze. A little girl appeared at the top of the stairs. Messy hair. Pajamas set with stars. She rubbed her eyes with one fist and held a stuffed rabbit in the other. She looked down at Jules, and her face softened in an effortless, familiar way. Mom, the girl said again, like it was the easiest fact in the world. Jules' chest tightened like a band had been pulled around it. Ethan's shoulders relaxed a fraction, like the child's presence grounded him. Hey, Bug, he called up, voice warm. Go back to bed for a minute, okay? Mom's not feeling well. The girl blinked. Is Mom sick? Jules couldn't breathe. She stared at the child's small face, searching for recognition. Nothing. But the child's eyes, brown, like hers. The girl's nose, slightly upturned, like hers. She looked like Jules in a way that wasn't coincidence. Jules' hand started to shake. The girl tilted her head. "Mom?" Jules forced sound out of her throat. "Hi." Her voice came out thin and wrong, like someone borrowing her mouth. The girl's brows knit together, confused for the first time. "You sound weird." Ethan moved closer to the bottom of the stairs, still gentle. "Mia, sweetheart, go lie down. I'll come tuck you in a second." Mia hesitated, eyes moving between them. "Okay, but don't forget." "I won't." Mia turned and disappeared down the hall. The moment she was gone, Jules sagged against the kitchen counter. Ethan exhaled like he'd been holding his breath. "See? You're home. You're safe. You're with us." "Us again." Jules stared at him, voice low. "If she's mine, then why don't I remember her?" "I don't know," he said quickly. "But we're going to figure it out." "Are we?" She looked straight at him. "Or are you going to keep telling me what my life is until I stop asking questions?" His face tightened again. "Why would I do that?" "Because you're too calm," her mind screamed. "Because you're not shocked enough. Because if my wife woke up and didn't recognize me, I'd be calling 911, not making coffee." She pushed away from the counter. "I want my phone." Ethan nodded. "Okay. It's upstairs. On your nightstand." She held his gaze. "I'll go get it." "Okay," he said, and there it was again, too easy. She walked upstairs, every step feeling like she was moving deeper into someone else's story. In the bedroom, her phone sat on the nightstand, face down. She grabbed it and flipped it over. It opened with Face ID. That made her stomach drop. If she'd been kidnapped and forced into a fake life, a phone wouldn't open that easily. Unless it wasn't her phone. She swiped, checking the home screen. The wallpaper was a photo of Mia on a swing, hair flying, laughing. A hand, Jules' hand, held the rope of the swing in the corner of the frame. Her throat tightened. She opened messages. The top thread, Ethan Redheart. Hundreds of messages. Years of them. She scrolled fast, eyes scanning. "Good morning, babe. Don't forget Mia's dentist at 2. Pick up oat milk? I miss you. Love you. Anniversary dinner tonight, don't work late." It looked real. It sounded normal. It was the kind of life she'd never imagined and somehow had. Her fingers trembled. She opened her own contact card. Jules Harper. Harper. Was that her last name? She couldn't remember her last name. She pressed the call button for someone labeled Mom. It rang. Once. Twice. A woman answered, voice bright. "Hi, honey." Jules' chest tightened. "Hi, Mom." "How's my girl?" the woman said warmly. "You sound a little sleepy." Jules held her breath. "Where am I?" A pause. "What do you mean?" Jules tried to keep her voice steady. "What city am I in?" The woman chuckled softly, like Jules was being silly. "Woodinville, sweetheart. You and Ethan still love it out there." Jules swallowed. "And, what's my birthday?" Another small pause. "Jules, are you okay?" "What's my birthday?" Jules repeated, sharper now. The woman's voice shifted into concern. "July 11th, Jules, what's going on?" Jules' stomach twisted. The woman knew her birthday. Not a guess. Not a hesitation. Like she'd said it 1,000 times. Jules' hand went cold around the phone. She forced the next question out. "What was my first job?" "Your first job?" Her mom laughed again, but it sounded nervous now. "You worked at that little ice cream shop in Everett, remember? You came home smelling like waffle cones." Everett. Washington. Everything pointed to Washington. But Jules still couldn't remember. She closed her eyes, pressing her fingers to her temple. "Mom? I don't remember Ethan." Silence. Then, very carefully, "Is this a joke?" "No." Her mom's breathing changed, audible through the line. Okay. Listen to me. I want you to stay calm. Where's Ethan?" Downstairs. Put him on the phone. Jules hesitated. Then she walked out of the bedroom and down the hall far enough that she could see the stairs, but Ethan couldn't hear her clearly. "Mom wants to talk to you," she called down. Ethan's voice came up. "Okay." He took the phone when she reached the bottom of the stairs. Jules watched his face as he listened. His expression turned serious fast. "Yes," he said. She woke up and, Yeah, I know. I didn't want to scare Mia. I'm watching her. I'm not letting her out of my sight. Not letting her out of my sight." The words made Jules' skin prickle. Ethan continued, voice calm. "No, she's not bleeding. She's just confused. She's asking questions. I think it's the concussion. Yeah, I'm going to call Dr. Patel." He glanced at Jules while he spoke. His eyes held hers like he was trying to reassure her. But it didn't feel like reassurance. It felt like management. He handed the phone back. "She wants you." Jules took it. Her mom's voice was urgent now, not warm. "Jules, you need to go to the ER. Now." Jules' heart jumped. "Okay. And you need to tell them everything," her mom said. "Everything. Even if it feels embarrassing." Jules swallowed. "What do you mean?" Her mom hesitated, then lowered her voice. "Honey, did you and Ethan argue recently?" Jules looked at Ethan. He was watching her. Jules started. Her mom pushed on. "Because last time you called me like that, it was when you were under stress. And you said some things that scared me." Jules' throat tightened. "What things?" Another pause. "You said you felt like you were living someone else's life. You said you couldn't breathe in your own house." Jules went cold. She stared at Ethan again. He didn't look surprised. He looked like he was waiting to see what she'd do with the information. Her mom continued, voice trembling a little. "Jules, I'm not saying Ethan is a bad man. I'm saying you've been struggling. For a while." "For a while?" Jules echoed, barely audible. "Yes. You told me you were seeing someone about it. A therapist." "A therapist." Jules' brain grabbed onto the word like a lifeline. "What's their name?" Her mom exhaled. "Dr. Lena Morris. In Bellevue." Jules' mouth went dry. Okay. I'll go." "Call me when you're there," her mom said. "Don't drive. Let Ethan take you." Jules' eyes snapped up. "Why?" Her mom's voice was careful. "Because you're not thinking clearly and I don't want you alone right now." Jules' fingers tightened around the phone. "Not alone. Not alone with him," her mind corrected, but she didn't say it. She ended the call and stood there in the entryway, phone in hand, trying to keep her face neutral. Ethan spoke softly. "We'll go. I'll pack a bag for Mia too, just in case." Jules stared at him. "I'm going alone." His brows lifted. "Jules?" "I'm going alone," she repeated, and this time her voice didn't shake. Ethan's face didn't harden, but something in him pulled tight, like a cable. "You shouldn't drive." "I'll call an Uber." He took a slow breath. "Your mom told you not to be alone." "My mom doesn't know what it feels like to wake up next to a stranger who calls himself my husband," Jules said, voice flat. Ethan's eyes flickered. "I'm not a stranger." "You are to me." A long beat. Then he nodded once. "Okay. I'll go with you, but I'll stay in the waiting room. I won't crowd you." Jules didn't like it. But she didn't know how to get out of the house without a scene, and Mia's small face at the top of the stairs still sat in her mind like a weight. "Fine," she said. Ethan moved smoothly, grabbing keys, a jacket, calling up the stairs. "Mia, Bug, we're going to the doctor, okay?" Mia appeared again, more awake now, eyes wide. "Is Mom really sick?" Jules forced herself to soften her face. "I'm okay," she said, and it felt like lying. Mia came down the stairs, stuffing her rabbit under her arm. She reached for Jules' hand with a confidence that broke something inside Jules. Jules let her take it. Mia's small fingers wrapped around hers like it belonged there. And for one terrifying second, Jules felt a flash, just a flash, of sitting on a floor, laughing as a child climbed into her lap, the smell of shampoo and crayons, the warmth of little arms around her neck. Then it vanished. Jules' breath caught. Ethan noticed. His eyes sharpened. "You remembered something?" Jules shook her head quickly, like shaking could keep the memory from slipping away. No. Ethan watched her for a beat too long, then turned toward the door. Let's go. The drive to the hospital was quiet, except for Mia talking about her stuffed rabbit's dream and asking for pancakes. Jules answered with short words, letting Ethan handle most of it. She stared out the window, trying to recognize anything. The streets were clean. Suburban. Trees everywhere. Coffee shops with names she didn't know. A school with a mural on the wall. It all felt like a set built for someone else. At the ER, Ethan signed them in with calm efficiency, giving Jules' name, explaining concussion 2 nights ago, memory issues this morning. He didn't mention the fear in her eyes or the way her hands shook. Jules sat in a plastic chair with Mia leaning into her side, small head on her arm like it was normal. Ethan sat across from them. He watched Jules the way you watch someone holding something fragile that might shatter if you breathe wrong. A nurse called her name. Jules Harper. Jules stood, Mia clinging to her hand. The nurse looked at Mia. Oh, sweetheart, you can stay with Dad in the waiting room while Mom gets checked, okay? Mia's lip trembled. I want to go. Ethan stood immediately, crouching to Mia's level. Bug, you can't come back there. But I'll be right here. I promise. Mia looked at Jules, eyes watery. Mom? Jules' chest tightened. She knelt and brushed Mia's hair back with fingers that didn't feel like hers. I'll be right back, she said, making her voice gentle. Okay? Mia nodded, swallowing hard, and let go. Jules followed the nurse through double doors into a bright hallway. As soon as the doors closed behind her, the world felt quieter and sharper. The nurse led her into a room, took her vitals, asked her questions. Jules answered as honestly as she could, name, birthday, location, all the facts she'd been told. Then the nurse asked, do you feel safe at home? Jules paused. The nurse watched her closely, pen hovering. Jules' mouth went dry. I don't know. The nurse nodded like she'd heard that before. Okay. Tell me what you mean. Jules stared down at her hands. The ring glinted under fluorescent light. I woke up and I don't remember my husband, she said. I don't remember my kid. But everyone says they're mine. The nurse's expression softened, but her eyes stayed alert. Does your husband ever hurt you? Jules looked up. I don't remember. Do you have any injuries? The nurse asked gently. Jules thought of the bruises on her wrist. She lifted her sleeve. The nurse's gaze sharpened. How did that happen? I don't know, Jules whispered. The nurse set her pen down. Okay. We're going to get the doctor. And I'm going to ask you something important. Your husband is in the waiting room, right? Yes. Would you like him to come back here? Jules' heart thudded. No, she said quickly. Not yet. The nurse nodded. Okay. After the nurse left, Jules sat on the bed and stared at the wall, trying to build a timeline out of nothing. If Ethan was lying, why would he bring her to a hospital? Unless he thought the hospital would back him up. Unless he knew what tests would show. Unless he'd already set this up. The door opened and a doctor walked in. Middle-aged, calm, a badge that read Dr. Patel. He looked at Jules with the kind of face that tried to be reassuring without being fake. Jules, he said. I'm Dr. Patel. I hear you've had some memory loss. Jules' throat tightened. Yes. He asked questions, checked her pupils, asked about the fall. Jules couldn't answer much. Then he said, we're going to do a CT scan just to be safe. Relief and fear hit her at the same time. A scan was proof. Something real. As they wheeled her toward imaging, Jules caught sight of Ethan through a glass wall in the hallway. He stood up immediately when he saw her, his face anxious. For a moment, he looked like a normal husband worried about his wife. Then his hand moved, just slightly, and she saw his phone screen. He was texting. His thumbs moved fast. Jules' stomach tightened. The scan took minutes. The waiting took forever. Back in the room, Jules sat alone again, staring at the door, listening to the muted sounds of the hospital. Somewhere a baby cried. Somewhere a cart squeaked. A different nurse came in with a clipboard. Jules? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do you have anyone we can call for you besides your husband?
Yes, Jules said quickly. My mom.
And my therapist, Dr. Lena Morris. The nurse wrote it down. Okay. Jules leaned forward. Can I use your phone?
Mine.
I don't trust it. The nurse studied her for a moment, then nodded. Sure. Jules called Dr. Lena Morris' office. It rang. A receptionist answered. Dr. Morris' office. Jules swallowed. Hi. This is Jules Harper. I need to confirm I'm a patient there. A pause. Keys clicking. Yes, Jules, the receptionist said. You have an appointment next Thursday. Jules' chest tightened. Have I been coming regularly? Another pause. Yes. Jules' mouth went dry. Okay. Can you tell me why? I'm sorry, I can't discuss. Please, Jules said, voice shaking now. I woke up and I don't remember my life. The receptionist's tone softened. Jules, if you're in danger, you should call. I'm in the ER, Jules said. Can you tell me if I ever said I was afraid of my husband? Silence. Then, carefully, Jules? I can't say details. But Dr. Morris would want you safe. Are you safe right now? Jules looked around the hospital room. I don't know. The receptionist exhaled. I'm going to put a note for Dr. Morris. She may be able to call you. Jules hung up, heart pounding. When Dr. Patel returned, he held a tablet and wore a calm face that didn't match the way Jules' stomach twisted. The scan looks normal, he said. No bleeding. No swelling. Jules' relief collapsed into confusion. Then why don't I remember? Memory issues can happen with concussion, he said. But total loss like this, it's not common. Not common. He studied her for a moment. Jules, have you been under a lot of stress lately? She swallowed. I don't know. He nodded slowly, like he'd expected that. Sometimes the brain protects us. Sometimes it shuts doors when it can't handle what's behind them. Jules' skin prickled. What are you saying? I'm saying it could be psychological, he said gently. Dissociative amnesia can happen after trauma. Trauma. The word landed heavy. Jules' mind flashed to the bruises on her wrist again. The scar at her hairline. The locked latch on the door. Dr. Patel continued, we also need to make sure you're safe. A social worker will talk with you. And I want you to follow up with neurology and psychiatry. Jules swallowed hard. Can I go home? Dr. Patel hesitated. That depends. On what? On whether you have support, he said carefully. And whether you feel safe. Jules stared at him. Then she said, I want to call the police. Dr. Patel didn't look surprised. He nodded slowly. Okay. Tell me why. Jules' voice came out low and steady, even though her hands shook. Because I think someone is lying to me. Because I don't remember my own kid, but my phone opens with my face. Because every photo looks real but my head is empty. Because my door has an extra lock. Because I have bruises and no explanation. And because my husband is too calm. Dr. Patel nodded, eyes serious now. Okay. A social worker arrived. Jules repeated everything. The social worker listened carefully and asked questions Jules couldn't answer. Then, finally, a police officer came. He was polite, calm, not dramatic. He asked Jules to explain again. Jules did. The officer nodded. Do you have ID on you? Jules pulled out her wallet. It was in her bag. She didn't remember packing a bag. Her driver's license looked real. Her photo. Her name, Juliet Harper. Address, Woodinville, WA. The officer looked it over, then asked, and you believe your husband is not your husband? I don't remember him, Jules said. That's all I know. The officer nodded slowly. We can verify marriage records. We can verify property. We can verify anything on paper. Paper can be faked, Jules said. The officer held her gaze. It can. But it's harder than people think. Jules' stomach turned. Can you keep him away from me? The officer glanced toward the door. We can ask him to step out. If you want to leave separately, we can help. Yes, Jules said immediately. I want to leave separately. The officer nodded and stepped out. Minutes later, the door opened. Ethan walked in. He wasn't supposed to. The officer was behind him, but Ethan was already in the room, eyes locked on Jules. His face looked careful, like he was trying to hold something together. Jules, he said softly. Why are there cops here? Jules' whole body tensed. Because I don't know who you are. Ethan's jaw tightened. He glanced at the officer, then back at Jules, voice still gentle. I'm your husband. Jules' voice came out cold. Prove it. He swallowed. We have marriage records. Paper, Jules said. Prove it in a way paper can't. Ethan blinked, caught for half a second. Then he stepped closer, hands open. Okay. Ask me anything. Jules' mind raced. Ask something only her husband would know. But she didn't remember anything to test him against. Then she remembered what her mom had said. That Jules had told her she felt like she was living someone else's life. That she couldn't breathe in her own house. That she'd been struggling. Jules stared at Ethan. Why was I seeing a therapist? Ethan's face shifted. A flicker of annoyance, quickly hidden under concern. For anxiety, he said. After Mia got sick last year, you? Mia got sick, Jules repeated. Ethan nodded quickly, like this was safe territory. Yeah. It scared you. You started having panic attacks. Jules looked at the officer. Can I see my medical records? The officer nodded. You can request them. Jules turned back to Ethan. What was Mia sick with? Ethan's mouth opened, then closed. It was a fever. It wasn't serious. But it scared you. Jules' stomach tightened. It sounded vague. Ethan's eyes stayed on her, and he spoke softly, like he was trying to soothe a wild animal. Jules, I know you're scared. But you're not thinking straight. The social worker stepped forward. Ethan, we need you to wait outside. Ethan didn't move. His eyes stayed on Jules. Jules. Come home with me. We'll figure it out. Jules stood up slowly, every part of her body tight. No. Ethan's face hardened for a fraction of a second. Then it softened again. Okay, he said, voice still calm, but his eyes were different now. Okay. I hear you. The officer stepped closer. Sir, you need to step out. Ethan held Jules' gaze a moment longer, then nodded and walked out. As soon as he left, Jules exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for hours. The officer leaned closer to Jules. We're going to verify identity and records. But I need you to understand something. Jules swallowed. What? If you're legally married and there's no evidence of a crime, we can't arrest him, he said. But we can help you get somewhere safe today. Jules nodded quickly. I want to go somewhere safe. Do you have a friend? Jules' mind searched and came up empty. Her mom lived somewhere. Her mom could come get her. But her mom had told Ethan to drive her. Which meant her mom trusted Ethan more than Jules trusted Ethan. Jules' throat tightened. I don't know. The social worker spoke gently. We can arrange a shelter. Or a hotel. Or a family member. Jules swallowed hard. A hotel. Okay, the officer said. We'll escort you out. They moved quickly. The officer and social worker led Jules through a side hallway away from the main waiting room. Jules' heart pounded as they passed a window that looked into the lobby. Ethan was there, standing near the entrance, phone in hand, talking to someone with his back turned. He looked up. His eyes locked on Jules through the glass. For a second, he didn't look worried. He looked warned. Like he'd just been told something had gone wrong. Then he raised his phone to his ear again, turning away too fast. Jules' stomach dropped. They got her outside. A gray sedan pulled up, hospital security escorting her to a nearby hotel. As she slid into the back seat, her phone buzzed in her hand. Unknown number. She stared at it. Then another buzz. A text preview appeared on the screen. I know you don't remember me. That's the point. Don't go back to him. Jules' breath caught. Her fingers shook as she opened the message. Another text came through immediately, like the sender was watching the little read indicator. Check your ring. Inside the band. If he's really your husband, he wouldn't have missed that. Jules' heart slammed against her ribs. She looked down at her left hand. The ring suddenly felt heavier, like it carried a secret she'd been wearing without knowing. She turned it slowly, searching for a seam, an engraving, anything. Nothing visible. But the message said inside. Her throat went dry. With shaking fingers, she pulled at the ring. It didn't slide easily, like her finger had swollen slightly. She twisted, pulled again, and it came off. Inside the band, faint but there, were tiny engraved numbers. Not a romantic message. Not initials. A sequence. And beneath it, one word in tiny letters. Run. Jules stared at it, frozen, as the car pulled away from the hospital and the world outside the window blurred into trees and sky. Behind her, somewhere in that waiting room, Ethan was still on the phone. And now she knew, with a cold certainty settling into her bones, that whoever had texted her wasn't guessing. They were warning her. And they knew exactly how much time she had. The car's interior suddenly felt too small. Jules kept the ring pinched between her thumb and index finger, staring at the tiny engraving like it might change if she blinked. The numbers were clean, deliberate. The word run was cramped but clear, like whoever etched it wanted zero misunderstanding. She turned it again, checking for more. Nothing. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number again. Don't show him the ring. Don't call him. Don't go home. If you want answers, start with the numbers. Jules swallowed hard. Her mouth tasted like metal. She typed back with shaking thumbs, "Who are you?" The reply came fast. "Someone who tried to tell you before. You didn't believe me. You won't remember that either." Jules' chest tightened. "Stop," she whispered, though no one could hear her. The driver glanced up in the rearview mirror. "You okay back there?" Jules forced a nod.
Yeah.
"Just, headache." He turned his eyes back to the road, not prying. Jules looked down at the numbers again. They were grouped like this. July 11, 22 to 3:18. The first part hit her immediately. July 11th. Her birthday. The second part, 22, could be a year. Or an age. Or a date. Then, 3:18. A time? A verse? A room number? A code? Her phone buzzed again. If you go straight to your mom, he'll get to you through her. She doesn't know. She trusts him. Jules' stomach dropped. Her mom's voice from earlier replayed in her head, "Let Ethan take you." Her fingers tightened around the phone. Okay, Jules thought. Okay. Slow down. Don't panic. If this is real, the sender wants you moving without thinking. If it's a trap, they want the same thing. She had to test something. Anything. She opened her notes app and typed the numbers, 07 November 22nd 3:18. Then she opened her calendar. She scrolled back to July 11, 2022. Her screen filled with entries. Dinner with Ethan's parents. Mia swimming lesson. Therapy, Dr. Morris, 3 p.m. And at 3:18 p.m., an entry that made her throat tighten. Do not forget. No details. No location. Just that. Jules felt cold spread through her arms. She tapped it. Nothing else. Her phone buzzed again. Search your photos. July 11, 2022. Around 3:18. Jules' breathing turned shallow. She opened photos. Scrolled to July 2022. Her hands were shaking so badly she kept tapping the wrong thumbnail. Then she found a short video clip. July 11, 2022, 3:18 p.m. She pressed play. The screen showed a dim room. The camera angle was low, like it was propped on a table and hidden behind something. Jules' own voice came out of the speakers, hushed and urgent. "If anything happens to me," her voice said, "if I forget again, the ring. Check the ring." Jules' blood ran cold. The video shifted slightly, like the person recording adjusted it. Then Ethan's voice appeared, close, calm, too calm. "Who are you talking to, Jules?" Jules' voice in the video went tight. "No one." A shadow crossed the frame. A hand, Ethan's hand, reached toward the camera. The video cut off. Jules stared at the frozen last frame, heart slamming in her chest so hard it hurt. This wasn't someone else's lie. This was her own voice. Her own warning. From years ago. The driver turned into a parking lot. "We're here," he said. Jules blinked, like she'd forgotten the world existed outside her phone. A hotel. Plain. Mid-range. Nothing fancy. But right now it looked like safety. She tucked the ring into her pocket, but her hand hesitated. The text had said don't show him the ring. Ethan couldn't see her pocket. Still, it felt wrong to have it out where it could be grabbed. She slid it deeper, into the tiny coin pocket of her jeans. Then she stepped out of the car and went into the lobby. The social worker had already arranged it. Jules gave her name. A room key slid across the counter. Room 318. Jules froze. Her fingers hovered over the keycard like it was a live wire. The clerk smiled politely. "Third floor, right side." Jules swallowed. "Is there any other room available?" The clerk checked. "We're pretty booked. I can put you in 214. Jules exhaled like she'd been punched and didn't know it. "Yes. Please." Keycard. Room 214. She took it and walked fast, head down, heart racing. She didn't want to be in any room that matched that number. Not until she understood what it meant. Inside the elevator, her phone buzzed again. "Good. Don't go to 318. He already knows." Jules' knees nearly buckled. She typed back, "How would he know?" The reply came after a pause, like the sender was choosing words. "Because he put you in a system where every choice routes back to him. He doesn't need cameras everywhere. He has people. He has routines. And he has you, when you're scared and tired and you stop fighting." Jules' throat tightened. The elevator dinged. Doors opened. She stepped out into a carpeted hallway that smelled like air freshener and old detergent. She found 214, slid the keycard, and stepped inside. She locked the deadbolt. Then she locked the chain. Then she stood there, back against the door, listening. Nothing. No footsteps. No voices. Just the faint hum of the AC. Her phone buzzed again. "You have to move before he arrives. Don't wait." Jules stared at the message. Her hands were trembling. Move where? Her brain finally grabbed onto the one concrete thing she had, Dr. Lena Morris. A therapist in Bellevue. A real person outside Ethan's house. Someone who might know why Jules had recorded that video. But what if Dr. Morris was part of it? Her stomach twisted. She had no reason to suspect the therapist, but she had no reason to trust anyone either. She needed a smaller step. Something she could verify. Jules opened her contacts and searched for Amy. An entry popped up, Amy Lynn White Medium Star. She stared at it. The name felt like it had weight. Like it belonged to a person who existed in her life even if her memory didn't. She tapped the call button. It rang once. Twice. Then a voice answered, already tense. "Jules?" Jules' throat tightened. "Amy. It's me." A long breath on the other end, like someone had been holding it. "Oh my God. You're alive." Jules went cold. "What do you mean?" Silence. Then Amy said, carefully, "Where are you?" Jules hesitated. "A hotel." "Which one?" Amy pressed. Jules' heart pounded. Amy could be safe. Amy could be another route back to Ethan. "I'm not telling you yet," Jules said. Amy swore under her breath, not angry, scared. "Okay.
Okay.
Listen to me. Do not go back to that house. Jules' fingers tightened around the phone. Why? Amy's voice dropped. Because the last time you tried to leave, you didn't even make it to your car. Jules' stomach lurched. What happened? Amy's breathing turned uneven.
You called me.
You said you found something. You said you were done pretending. You were crying, but you sounded clear. Like you finally decided. Jules' mouth went dry. Then what? I drove over, Amy said. But by the time I got there, he was already outside. Smiling.
Come.
Like he'd been waiting. Jules' skin prickled. Ethan. Amy didn't say his name. She didn't have to. The silence did it for her. He told me you hit your head again, Amy continued. He said you were embarrassed. He said you asked him to tell me not to come in. Jules closed her eyes, dizzy. Did you believe him? Amy's voice cracked.
I wanted to.
Because it was easier than believing the other thing. What other thing? Jules whispered. That you were being controlled, Amy said. That your life was being rewritten. Jules opened her eyes, staring at the bland hotel wall. I don't remember any of this. I know, Amy said softly. That's why I'm scared. Because you've said that before. Jules swallowed. Amy, do I have a daughter? There was a pause, then the sound of Amy breathing out slowly. Yes. Jules' chest tightened. Is she safe? Amy's voice got sharper. Mia? She's safe with him. She loves you. She's not a pawn, Jules. She's a kid. Jules' eyes burned. I don't remember her. I know, Amy said, gentler again. But she's real. Jules gripped the phone harder.
Amy.
I found a video. From July 11, 2022. It says check the ring. Amy went silent. Then, very quietly, is there an engraving? Yes, Jules whispered. Amy inhaled sharply.
Okay.
Okay, that means you're not wiped clean. If you found that, it means you're awake enough to run. Jules' throat tightened. Why would I need to run from my husband? Amy didn't answer right away. When she spoke, her voice sounded like it hurt. Because the man you're married to isn't the man you think he is. Jules swallowed hard. I don't think he's anything. I don't remember him. Amy's voice turned urgent. Good. That might be your only advantage right now. Because if you don't remember him, you won't fall for the version of him that works. Jules' hands shook. What version? The version that acts like you're fragile, Amy said. The version that makes you feel guilty for doubting him. The version that says he's the only one who can keep you safe. Jules' stomach turned. That version was the only one she'd seen so far. She lowered her voice. Amy, why did I record that video? Amy's breathing hitched. Because you told me you were scared you'd forget on purpose. Jules' blood went cold. On purpose. Amy said, you believed he was dosing you. Jules' vision blurred. No. Jules, Amy said gently, I didn't want to believe you. I told myself you were overwhelmed. But then I saw the bruises. Over and over. And you never had a clear story. Jules stared at the bruises on her wrist in her mind like they were suddenly loud. She whispered, do I have a job? Yes, Amy said quickly. You do. You work remote. You used to be in marketing. Then you switched. You do operations now. You're good at it, Jules. Like, scary good. That's why he picked you. Jules' stomach dropped. Picked me for what? Amy hesitated. For paperwork. For signatures. For looking legitimate. For making things look like they came from you. Jules' pulse thundered. Like, legal documents? Amy's voice went quieter. Like things you don't remember signing. Jules' mind flashed, the confidentiality agreements. The stack Edward had pushed in front of her. Her own name on pages she didn't read because she trusted. Jules felt nauseous. Amy, is Ethan's name even Ethan? Amy paused. It is. But it's not the part that matters. What part matters? Amy's voice dropped. The part where he's been building a life around you that you can't prove isn't real, because it looks real from the outside. Jules squeezed her eyes shut. Okay. What do I do? Amy's answer came fast, like she'd been holding it for years. You go to Dr. Morris, Amy said. In person. Today. Right now. You don't call ahead. You don't tell anyone. You take screenshots of everything, calendar, the video, the ring engraving, the unknown texts. And you put a new passcode on your phone. Jules swallowed. What if he tracks my phone? Amy didn't hesitate. Assume he does. Turn it off. Buy a cheap prepaid phone. Use cash. I don't have cash, Jules said. Amy's voice softened. You do. You always keep emergency cash. Jules blinked. Where? In your toiletry bag, Amy said. Inner zipper pocket. You told me you started doing it after the first time. Jules' fingers went numb. She didn't even remember packing a bag, yet there was a toiletry bag in her backpack on the chair. She walked over with the phone pressed to her ear, unzipped the bag, found the inner pocket. A wad of folded bills. Jules' breath caught. It was real. Someone, her, had prepared for this. Amy kept talking. Jules, listen. If he shows up, you don't argue. You don't explain. You don't try to win. You leave through a back exit. You go where there are people. Jules' voice shook. What about Mia? A silence. Then Amy said, carefully, we get you stable first. Then we get Mia. If you go back now, you'll both be stuck. Jules' eyes stung. She called me mom. I know, Amy said, softer. And you'll be her mom again. But not if you let him put you back to sleep. Jules swallowed hard. Okay. Then Amy's tone changed, sharp again. Jules, has he called you yet? Jules glanced at her missed calls. Ethan Redhart, 6 missed calls. She felt sick. Yes, she whispered. Amy exhaled. He's already moving. Jules' phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't unknown. Ethan Redhart. Where are you? Mia is asking for you. Please answer. Jules' chest tightened. Amy said, don't answer him. Jules stared at the screen. Mia is asking for you. It was the perfect hook. The perfect guilt. The perfect leash. Jules forced her thumb away from the call button. Another message popped in. Ethan Redhart. Jules, you're not well. You're scaring Mia. Come back so we can talk like adults. Jules' skin prickled. The calm tone. The gentle blame. Amy's voice was firm. Jules, you need to move now. Not in 5 minutes. Now. Jules swallowed and looked around the hotel room like she was seeing it for the first time. She had a backpack. A phone. Cash. A ring with a warning. And a child she didn't remember, sitting back in that house with a man who might not be what he says he is. Jules whispered, if I go to Dr. Morris, what if she tells him? Amy answered without hesitation. Then we'll know for sure. But Dr. Morris is the only person who's been hearing the truth from you when no one else would. Jules' throat tightened. She shoved the cash into her jeans pocket, grabbed her backpack, and walked to the door. Her hand hovered over the lock. She listened. Nothing. She opened the door a crack and looked into the hallway. Empty. She stepped out and walked fast, keeping her head down, trying not to look like someone running. Elevator or stairs? Elevators could trap you. Stairs could be empty. She chose stairs. Halfway down, her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He's close. Don't go to the lobby. Side exit, near the vending machines. Go now. Jules' stomach dropped. She didn't stop to question how the sender knew. She just moved. She reached the first floor and saw the vending machines near a side hallway. A lit exit sign glowed above a door. She pushed it open. Cold air hit her face. A narrow side lot with a few cars. And at the far end of the lot, a black SUV rolled in slowly, like it knew exactly where to go. Jules froze. The SUV stopped. The driver's door opened. Ethan stepped out. He scanned the lot. His eyes moved fast, not panicked, focused. Then his gaze landed on her. For a second, his face didn't show anger. It showed relief. Then he smiled, small and careful, like he'd just found something that almost got lost. "Jules," he called, voice gentle, taking a few steps forward. "Thank God. I've been worried sick." Jules' whole body went cold. She backed up instinctively until her shoulders hit the metal exit door. Ethan's hands lifted in that same open palm gesture. "I'm not here to fight," he said. "I just want to talk. Mia's crying." The words hit like a punch. Jules swallowed hard. "Stay back." Ethan stopped, still smiling, still soft. "Okay. I will. Just tell me what's happening." Jules' mind screamed, "Don't explain. Don't argue. Leave through a back exit." But she was already at the back exit. And he was already here. Her phone buzzed again in her pocket like a heartbeat. Jules didn't look at it. She couldn't. She kept her eyes on Ethan. Ethan took one more small step, then stopped again, like he was training her to accept his approach in inches. "Jules," he said, voice low and calm, "you're having an episode. It's okay. It happens. We've been through it before." Jules' throat tightened. "No." Ethan's smile twitched, just barely. "Yes," he said, still calm. "And you always feel embarrassed afterward. You always apologize. You always say you didn't mean it." Jules felt nausea rise. Because a part of her, some quiet corner that didn't have memories but had instincts, recognized the pattern. Not the men. The pattern. Ethan tilted his head slightly, voice soft as a lullaby. "Come with me. I'll take you home. You can rest. And later, if you still want to go to the doctor, we'll go together." Together. The leash again. Jules' fingers curled around the strap of her backpack. She needed a move. A break. A crowd. She glanced past Ethan, toward the street. The lot was empty. Then she saw it, a delivery van parked near the far curb. A young guy stepping out with a clipboard, looking at his phone, distracted. A person. A witness. Jules forced herself to speak, louder. "I don't remember you." Ethan's face softened like he was sad. "I know." Jules' heart pounded. "And I don't trust you." Ethan's smile finally slipped for half a second, just a crack, before he fixed it again. "That's okay. You don't have to trust me. You just have to come with me." Jules swallowed hard. Then she made her choice. She shoved the exit door open behind her, slipped back inside, and sprinted down the hallway toward the vending machines, toward the lobby, toward people, before Ethan could close the distance. Behind her, she heard his voice, no longer gentle. "Jules, wait." And the sound of his footsteps, faster now. Jules ran, heart hammering, one thought repeating like a siren. "If he catches me here, I may not wake up remembering this moment at all." And she burst into the lobby. Straight into a crowd she hadn't seen before. A tour group. Teenagers with backpacks. A chaperone arguing with the front desk. Noise. Eyes everywhere. Jules stopped short, breathing hard. Ethan slowed as he entered the lobby too, instantly changing his face back into concern, back into husband mode, because now there were witnesses. He approached slowly, palms open, voice sweet again. "Jules. There you are." Jules stared at him, chest heaving, and realized something terrifying. He wasn't just chasing her. He was controlling the story. Even here. Even now. And she had no idea who in this room would believe her. Or who might already be on his side. Jules forced her lungs to work like nothing was happening. She slowed her steps, even though every nerve in her body wanted to sprint again. The lobby was loud, teen voices, rolling suitcase wheels, the front desk clerk trying to keep control. It was the first place that didn't belong to Ethan. Ethan walked in behind her like he belonged here too. He didn't rush. He didn't grab her. He adjusted. His shoulders relaxed, his face softened, his voice dropped into that careful, warm tone he used when other people were watching. "Jules," he said, like he was talking to someone fragile. "Come here. You're shaking." Jules didn't move toward him. She moved slightly sideways, closer to a cluster of people. She kept her eyes on him, but she also kept her body angled toward the exit on the opposite side of the lobby. A chaperone, mid-40s, lanyard, tired eyes, noticed the tension and looked between them. Ethan caught the look and smiled politely at the chaperone, like he was already building the scene in their head. "Sorry," Ethan said, with a small laugh that sounded rehearsed. "My wife's had a rough day. She's not feeling like herself." Jules' stomach flipped. There it was. The story. Jules took a breath and raised her voice, just enough that the nearest couple of teens could hear. "My name is Jules," she said, steady as she could. "I don't remember you. I don't know if you're my husband. And I don't feel safe going with you." A few heads turned. Ethan's smile tightened, but he kept it. "Honey." Jules held up a hand. "Don't call me that." The chaperone stepped forward a little. "Ma'am," she said to Jules, then glanced at Ethan, "do you need help?" Ethan's eyes flicked to the chaperone, then back to Jules. No, he said quickly, still calm. "I appreciate it. She's just dealing with some memory issues. We have a doctor. We have a plan." Jules could see it in his face. "Don't embarrass me. Don't make this public. Come quietly." Jules' phone buzzed in her pocket like a warning bell. "Unknown number. Ask the front desk to call police for welfare check. Say you fear coercive control. Do not say amnesia. He'll use it." Jules' throat went tight. She stepped to the front desk, close enough that the clerk had to look at her. "I need you to call the police," Jules said, voice low but firm. "I'm afraid this man is trying to take me somewhere against my will." Ethan took one step forward. Not fast. Controlled. "Jules," he said softly, "you're not thinking clearly. Please." The clerk blinked, startled. "Ah." Jules leaned in, keeping her voice steady. "Please. Now." The chaperone moved closer too, like she'd decided Jules was the one who might actually need protecting. Ethan's expression shifted for a second, barely visible, like frustration flashed behind the mask. Then he smiled again. "Okay," he said, loud enough for everyone. "If calling the police makes you feel better, we can do that. I'm not here to force you." He spread his hands wider, the picture of reason. Jules realized the trap immediately. If he looked cooperative, he'd look innocent. If she looked panicked, she'd look unstable. So she did the hardest thing. She calmed down on purpose. She steadied her breathing. She lowered her shoulders. She stood straight. "Thank you," she said to the clerk. "Please call." The clerk reached for the phone. Ethan watched the clerk dial, then glanced at Jules like he was waiting for her to crack. Jules didn't crack. She reached into her pocket and touched the ring in the tiny coin pocket, pressing her thumb against it like it was a button that kept her awake. Ethan's gaze dropped for a second, tiny, almost automatic, toward her jeans pocket. Jules saw it. He knew about the ring. Or at least he knew she had something. The police arrived fast, 2 officers. One older, one younger. They took in the scene, a woman with a backpack, a man who looked calm, a front desk clerk, a chaperone with teens. The older officer spoke first.
Ma'am.
You asked us to come? Jules nodded.
Yes.
I don't feel safe leaving with him. Ethan immediately stepped in, respectful. Officer, I'm her husband. She's had episodes before. She left the house without her medication and she's confused. I'm just trying to bring her home. The older officer looked at Jules. Is that true? Jules' mouth went dry. The word medication hit like a dart. She shook her head. I don't know what's true. That's the problem. I found a video of myself from years ago warning me not to trust him. Ethan's face didn't change, but his eyes sharpened. The younger officer spoke up. A video? Jules pulled out her phone, then stopped herself. The text had said turn it off. Assume he tracks it. But right now, she needed proof. She opened the video with shaking hands, kept her body angled away from Ethan, and held it toward the officers. They watched. Jules' voice in the clip, if anything happens, check the ring. Ethan's voice in the clip, who are you talking to, Jules? Then the clip ended. The lobby felt suddenly too quiet. The older officer watched Ethan now, not smiling. Sir, what's that about? Ethan let out a slow breath, like a man carrying a burden. Officer, she records things during her episodes. She's been in therapy. She thinks people are after her. It's... Stop, Jules said, sharper than she intended. Ethan's eyes flicked to her. Jules turned to the older officer. I want to go to my doctor alone. Not with him. I want a safe escort. The older officer nodded slowly. That's reasonable. Ethan's voice stayed gentle. I can drive her. The older officer held up a hand. No. If she doesn't want you to, you won't. Ethan's jaw tightened for a fraction of a second, then relaxed. Fine, he said softly. Whatever makes her feel safe. The older officer looked at Jules. Where do you want to go? Jules swallowed. Dr. Lena Morris. Bellevue. Ethan's eyes shifted again. He knew that name too. Jules felt it like a cold touch. The younger officer spoke quietly to the older one, then nodded toward the door. We can escort her. Ethan's smile returned, thin. Jules, please. Just let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Jules shook her head. No. Ethan's gaze held hers, and for a second his voice dropped so only she could hear. You're making a mistake. Then he stepped back again, mask on. The officers walked Jules out through the lobby. She didn't look back until she was inside the patrol car. Then she did. Ethan stood in the lobby doorway, hands in his pockets, watching her like she was a problem he hadn't finished solving. And as the car pulled away, Jules' phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Good. Now don't go straight to the office. He'll be there. Jules' heart sank. How do you know where he'll be? She whispered, but she didn't text it. Not yet. At the clinic, the officers walked her inside. The waiting room smelled like coffee and printer paper. Normal. Too normal for how her insides felt. Dr. Morris came out herself. Late 50s, kind face, sharp eyes that didn't miss anything. When she saw Jules, her expression tightened, not with surprise, with recognition. Jules, she said carefully. You came. Jules' throat closed. You know me. Dr. Morris nodded. Yes. Jules took a shaky breath. I need you to tell me the truth. Not the comforting version. The truth. Dr. Morris glanced at the officers. Can we have a minute? The older officer nodded. We'll wait right outside the door. They stepped out. Dr. Morris led Jules into her office and shut the door. The room was warm, tidy, full of books and quiet. A small fountain in the corner made a soft trickling sound. Jules sat, gripping her backpack like it was a life jacket. Dr. Morris sat across from her and didn't rush. Then she said, You wrote a safety plan. Jules stared. I did? Dr. Morris reached into a file drawer and pulled out an envelope. It was sealed. On the front, in Jules' handwriting. For me. Open only if I don't remember. Jules' breath caught. Dr. Morris slid it across the desk. Jules didn't open it right away. Her hands hovered. Fear crawled up her arms. What is this? Jules whispered. Dr. Morris's voice was steady. It's what you made me promise to keep if you ever came in saying you didn't remember your husband. Jules swallowed. Why would I do that? Dr. Morris held her gaze. Because you were terrified. Jules' fingers tore the envelope open. Inside was a folded letter. A USB drive taped to the paper. And one sentence written in bold at the top. If you're reading this, he did it again. Jules' vision blurred. She unfolded the letter. Her own words stared back at her like a stranger who knew her better than anyone. Jules? If you don't remember, I need you to trust this. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are being managed. You keep getting pushed back into the same life because it benefits him. You started noticing missing time. Then bruises. Then accidents. You wrote down patterns. You recorded proof. You hid backups. You told Amy. You told Dr. Morris. Do not go home. Do not confront him alone. Do not drink anything he gives you. Do not take any pills he hands you. You have a daughter. She is real. He uses her as a leash. Stay calm. Get help. Follow the numbers on the ring. Jules' hands were shaking so hard the paper rustled like leaves. She looked up at Dr. Morris. Why didn't you report this? Dr. Morris's face tightened. We tried. You didn't have enough proof that would hold. Every time you got close to pushing, you'd come back, different. Apologetic. Certain you were overreacting. Jules whispered, like he reset me. Dr. Morris didn't say yes. She didn't have to. Jules looked at the USB. What's on it? Dr. Morris stood. Come. She led Jules to a small laptop on a side table. She plugged in the USB. A folder opened. Videos. Photos. Scans. Jules' stomach rolled. There were scanned legal documents with her signature, property transfers, medical consent forms, a durable power of attorney with Ethan's name. There were emails Jules didn't remember sending. There were voice notes of Jules crying, saying the same line again and again. I feel like I'm being erased. Then there was a video labeled, Mia, do not show Ethan. Jules clicked it. The screen filled with a child's face, big eyes, missing tooth, messy hair. Mama, the little girl said into the camera. Amy says you're not feeling good again. So I'm making this for you, okay? Jules' breath broke. The child kept talking, sweet and careful, like she'd done this before. This is Mia. I'm your Mia. I'm 7. I like pancakes. I like the blue blanket. And you like when I call you Julesy when no one's around. You always laugh. Dad doesn't like it when I call you that, but you do. Jules clapped a hand over her mouth. Tears spilled out. The video continued. And Mama, if you're watching this because you forgot, I need you to remember one thing. You always told me, if I ever forget, don't be scared. Just find Amy. Mia's face got serious, like a kid trying to be brave. And Mama, don't drink the tea. Jules' body went cold. She looked up at Dr. Morris. Tea. Dr. Morris's voice was quiet. You told me he'd give you tea before you'd sleep for hours. Jules' mind flashed, Ethan offering comfort. Ethan offering rest. Ethan saying come home. Ethan saying you're not well. Jules wiped her face with the back of her hand, shaking. So what is he? A criminal? A con artist? Dr. Morris interrupted gently. I don't know exactly what he started as. But I know what he became. Jules stared at the screen. The documents. The signatures. This is about money, Jules whispered. Dr. Morris nodded. And control. And reputation. Jules remembered the unknown number's words, he built a life around you that looks real from the outside. Jules turned back to the letter. Follow the numbers on the ring. She pulled the ring from her coin pocket with trembling fingers. Then she said, I didn't go to room 318. Dr. Morris's eyebrows lifted slightly. You were supposed to? The hotel key they tried to give me was 318, Jules said. Her voice sounded far away. Dr. Morris went still. Jules swallowed. What does 318 mean? Dr. Morris stared at the ring, then at Jules. There's something in my files, she said slowly. From your birthday. July 11, 2022. She opened another drawer and pulled out a second sealed envelope, this one labeled. Jules' heart hammered. Dr. Morris slid it across the desk. You told me if you ever came back in danger, this would be the next step. Jules opened it. Inside was a single printed address. Spokane, Washington. A storage facility. Unit 318. Jules' blood ran cold. Under the address was one line.